What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Super exciting news breaking across the trades late last night, and some of you may have already seen the headline: The Incredible Hulk back at Marvel Studios, now owned in rights 100% by Disney, allowing them to make a solo film or do whatever else they'd like to do with the character alongside Namor. We're going to break down exactly where this story's coming from, what it means for the sharing agreement that once existed between Universal and Marvel, and how this may preface a huge announcement coming from Disney sometime soon. Of course, what it's going to mean for Hulk coming in Phase 4 or Phase 5. But first, if you could, grab the subscribe button. We're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel related stuff, including a limited edition Infinity Saga box set. All you have to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So as I said moments ago, a sharing agreement once existed, the rights for the Hulk tied up at Universal, and of course Kevin Feige and Mark Ruffalo both very public and on record saying that was never going to happen. No solo film for the Hulk because Universal didn't want to play ball. That's primarily why they seeded a new arc for the Hulk throughout Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. And regardless of where Endgame left the Hulk now in this Professor Hulk state, it doesn't mean he's stuck there forever. And with the doors seemingly swung wide open on the endless possibilities for what Marvel Studios could do with the Hulk from the comic book precedent that the fans actually want to see made good on, this could lead straight into a solo film. Coming from our report today from industry insider Jeremy Conrad, Disney and Marvel Studios have fully reacquired the film rights for the Hulk and Namor. What's more, they plan to make a solo Hulk film, but probably not for Namor, as it would be too similar to DC's Aquaman. Just plan on including him in other people's films, much like a ton of other characters that have made it into the Marvel rosters but not quite given their own franchise yet. Now, this report comes before any official word from Disney, Marvel, or Universal Studios, but that's why they call them industry insiders. And much like what happened with the Disney-Sony sharing agreement and Spider-Man, we found out in the trades 24 to 48 hours before official word from either company. That could be the case, or it could be that Marvel Studios wants to back pocket this announcement or the announcement of a Hulk solo film for something like a San Diego Comic-Con. But truth be told, if they plan on keeping this a secret for another 6 months, well, we see how well that worked out. Now, if it's truly the case that they reacquired these rights in full for Hulk and Namor, then that would coincide with multiple reports we've run here at the channel over the last year that after the acquisition of Fox and the reuniting of multiple properties, a huge chunk back at home under Marvel Studios, that Disney would start down the short path of trying to reunite all of the outliers. Hulk and Namor over at Universal were huge too, and there's also been a ton of movement with all of the TV properties as well, placing them all under Kevin Feige's direction as the CCO, that's Chief Creative Officer, and of course President of Marvel Studios. This would fall right in line with that, and it's very different than what happened with Spider-Man, and honestly the very reason why Marvel is trying to do this. They've just continued their sharing agreement with Sony and still have to play ball, renegotiate contracts, and have an agreement on how they produce and distribute Spider-Man properties. They don't want to deal with that. They'd rather have this and produce it, distribute it, have complete control. That's what they've been moving towards. Now with Spider-Man, the amount of money they would have to pony up to get that character is probably going to be some inordinate sum, but it's going to be interesting to find out once they confirm this just how much they paid for something like the Incredible Hulk, which of course has been making Universal money for the better part of the last decade as the Hulk's been involved with the Infinity Saga, and how much they made Marvel Studios pay for a character like Namor that hasn't been used since any of us can remember. Whatever it wasn't nothing, but you have to imagine they didn't have any ambitions over at Universal of making their own Hulk franchise, especially in lieu of how successful the MCU has been. So think of it as a huge severance package, a cashing out. They could wind down the Hulk's involvement in the MCU all the way to not even having a Hulk at all. Then it would be stranded over at Universal with them to have to make a solo Hulk movie with a reboot. Everybody on both sides knew that wasn't going to work, and much like free agency, eventually the rights would bounce back to Marvel if Universal Universal never did anything with them, which means if they were going to have the rights but not be able to make a film, then the best they could do was get as much money as they could for the property and all. And that's probably why there's a lot of truth to this report, and it could be that Universal actually initiated this deal in the first place. Either way, it goes down pretty perfectly for Marvel Studios, who gets to do whatever they want in whatever capacity with the Hulk and Marvel Phase 4, 5, and 6, with one catch: as long as Mark Ruffalo wants to stay the Hulk. I feel like we have this conversation at least once or twice a month now with some of these actors who have been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a decade. You might have seen the report just days ago that Doctor Strange himself, Benedict Cumberbatch, is actually already at the end of his contract with Marvel Studios, and that he may agree to do one more movie after this, perhaps Avengers 5, but that then this would equal his longest running role in Sherlock of 7 years, making this 8 in the MCU, and that for an actor who generally doesn't like to keep a role that long, it may be time for him to go. And Marvel Studios is going to start to run into this problem with actors who have been involved with the cinematic universe for over a decade. Some of them just don't want to keep the role for life, or at least not with taking huge breaks in between, which means it's all good and well to have the rights to the Hulk back in full, but if Mark Ruffalo doesn't want to make movies, or at least not for a while, then they'll find themselves in the same boat they were as if they didn't own the rights. And then there's this huge looming cinematic regret for what happened with the Hulk at the end of the Infinity Saga. Most of the fans very vocal and hoping that he would get a rematch in Infinity War, completely being played out, only to find him then turn around in Avengers Endgame, get to unsnap with the gauntlet, but pull a total no-show during the battle. It was the hope of a lot of us that we would get to see one of Hulk's ultimate power levels, something like Worldbreaker Hulk or Heart of the Monster Hulk, and they didn't go anywhere near that, though Hulk was able to get the Infinity Gauntlet and tell the entire audience that the radiation was mostly gamma, that he was made for that. I thought we were on the precipice of getting something like Worldbreaker Hulk. They even went and killed Black Widow. Alas, it was not to be. But now with the rights fully over at Marvel, Mark Ruffalo might jump at the chance to get his first solo movie, much like Black Widow did after the fact, except he's not dead yet, he's only injured, and there are a ton of places his character can go, especially in service of the fans. Obviously, one of his highest power levels, like a Worldbreaker Hulk, maybe even something crazier like a Master Hulk, or dare I say it, get to see him as the Herald of Galactus. Look, we're in a completely different MCU. If I had explained to you what was going to happen in Avengers Endgame right after you had seen something like Winter Soldier in the theaters, you would have told me I was crazy. But now anything could happen, and with the Hulk staying in the MCU, and with fans calling for him to become one of his most powerful versions, I think Marvel Studios is going to do him justice in a way that they just didn't do during the Infinity Saga. It may in fact be Mark Ruffalo and the Hulk's time, and if they're going to do a solo movie, you can be sure they're going to pick an interesting story. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments about all of this. How hype are you if they actually get the rights back and they're able to do a solo Hulk film to have this done right with the Mark Ruffalo that we know and love, and if they're truly going to seed another Hulk arc, if they're going to follow another storyline throughout Marvel's Phase 4, 5, and 6. Which storyline from the comics would you like to see them do, or what version of the Hulk do you most want to see played out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward, knowing that all that cosmic stuff is now on the table? Let me know down in the comments. I'm all ears, and quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which is at the 550,000 subscriber mark. We'll hit that easily by month's end, if not by week's end. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and that'll automatically enter you to win all the rest of the prizes we give away here at the channel, like the limited edition Infinity Saga box set. Now, we just gave one away on New Year's Eve. Jessica A was the winner. I've already been in touch with her, gotten her information, and gotten it right out to her, and it's as simple as that. All you have to do, and all the same rules apply for either of the PlayStations, the limited edition Infinity Saga box set, or any of the future prizes we give away here at the channel. And guys, we're going to be doubling down as soon as this next PlayStation is given away. You guys are going to love to hear what the prizes are at the 600, 700, 800,000 subscriber marks, all the way up to 1 million hopefully this year. Again, all the same rules apply. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell with notifications turned on. leave a like and a comment on the video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners are announced in video at the end of videos, and if you've missed any of the prior announcements, all of the titles are annotated to reflect such. So all you got to do is scroll back throughout the channel, look for the titles that say winners, and then scroll to the end of the video. You'll hear them there. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Guys, I cannot thank you from the bottom of my heart for a lot of you that have been with me from the beginning and have helped me build one of the fastest fan-growing communities for Marvel on YouTube or really any other platform. I can't thank you enough. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.